Hey YouTubers, welcome and great to have you back tuned into the show. Of course, I'm your host Mike, and of course, we got something new and shiny this time. We got this model from Ldrc. They've been known to make some cool minis, especially those drift cars. Let more people like playing models. Yes, let's get into it. Alright guys, we got this thing out of the box. I think it looks pretty good. I'm just going to go over it quick. It came with a plastic shell thing inside and everything was well protected. It came from AliExpress. I'll leave a link in the notes. This thing was super well priced. I think this is like 55 Canadian, whatever works in American, probably mid $30. And you can find these things on sale. Ali always has some kind of sale on every month. You can save a few cents or even $1 or $2. Everything cool. It was actually free shipping too. It got to me in 8 days, so it's awesome. It's this way you get, and you get a special charge cable for it that I don't have here. You get, I think, a cross wrench. Let's talk about the radio quick. This is a pretty basic radio. It has a foam wheel. It's thinking about all the YouTubers out there. We can film with one hand if you do that. I don't. I use a hack cam, but you can drive easily with one hand on this. And you get a steering trim left right here and a simple on button. This is about as basic as a radio as you get. 2 AA's at the bottom with the screw. Take the screw out. It'll hold. Pretty basic stuff. Alright, let's move on to the car. Alright, first off, I think it looks really cool. And look at this. Boing, 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 boing. Bobbleheads on the drivers. Pretty cool. Wayne Gretzky 99 on it. Ldrc. It's a super car. In case you didn't see it on the hood, it says supercar here again. The battery tray's in the back and there's a screw. I'll take it out in a sec. Cheap shocks. As you can see, there's a little plastic notch that goes up through this slot here, and that's what limits it. And there's a spring inside. Actually, it's not too bad. I mean, those aren't oil shocks, but for like stock spring shocks that come on other models, these ones aren't, I don't find any worse. Look at that, guys. We got servo on axle, and right there, it's a 3-wire servo. It's going to be a little hard to see, but in there's a 180 or 190 brush motor, so the motor is big and powerful enough. Underneath, you see it's all plastic drive shafts, plastic links, everything's cool, plastic steering. But this ain't much different than what you get with any other 18 or 24 scale crawler, especially on the budget side. Over here we have the on-off button. All in all, guys, not too bad. I'm just going to open up the battery tray. Okay, we can see the batteries tucked away in there, and it's kind of cheesy here as you can see the on-off button thing, and it's exposed, so that's not waterproof or anything. So I wouldn't take this into the water. We got that weird plastic connector there, so you especially need the charger for this one, as there is no balance lead to charge it on like any of the USB ones. So be sure you don't lose that charger, or you can cut this off, change the connectors on it. And I wouldn't even do that. I'd just leave it as is. I would say you could cut that off and put on a regular connector, then you just wouldn't be using this battery. In case you have other batteries that fit in here, that might work. I will say I'm not a big fan of using the screw to secure the battery, but for now this is what we gotta live with. Lastly, underneath you can see where everything plugs into, so the servo's plugging in there, so the ESC is kind of upside down in it and mounted, and everything plugs into it from this way. I think there might be even LED lights, yes, in the front that plug into there. So definitely not protected. Don't take this thing into the water. Pretty basic stuff, but what do you expect for this thing at this price? Only thing we can say now is let's take it on the crawl course and see how it performs. All right, let's get to that part right now.
A few moments later.
Okay, we got her down by the crawler course. Looks like the servo is powerful enough. It's a little bouncy, of course. We got those friction shocks, but we're going to see how it goes. And this homemade crawler course that I made is pretty cool for RCs like this. Now, it does have some hesitation, and I'll explain that in a bit in the video, but overall, it's crawling not too bad. One thing is for sure, it's sure jumpy in reverse. So sometimes if you're in a spot and you kind of get stuck, and you hit the reverse, it will go pretty quick, and you might be on a downhill, uphill, and that might be a little bit concerning to how things crawl, just like that. But she's tumbling along, and it's a pretty basic crawler. I think the motor in it is actually quite powerful. I think the issue with this model, see, is we're right here, and it won't, you kind of like, you're giving it, and then it'll go, and then all of a sudden you're flying off. I think the motor is fine. I think what the problem is that it's over geared. I mean, this thing is going too fast. They should have put a smaller pinion on it, and it'd be more powerful for going over bumps and less speed, because I think this is too fast for crawling for a Mini. If you want to take this out on a trail, it might be pretty good, but with just its speed and these type of tires, it's not going to be great for crawling. And as you see, the PVC pipe is the ultimate, one of the ultimate tests on this course, and it easily slid off. You really have to be experienced in order to get that to go. We'll see if we can bring it up here. We got some taller grass over here. It's getting stuck on. Let's see if we can get up on this side of the course. Of course, you're gonna have to rely on it going and bucking around a bit. And sometimes it surprises you on what it can do, and then sometimes it disappoints you a little bit on what it can't do. And you kind of get in the spot and you're like, hey, I think this thing should be able to do this. And then you kind of, I'm like stuck in this spot right here, and yeah, let's go. But you gotta baby it and be careful, it'll fly right off. Now, I think this thing actually has quite the potential, and that may sound crazy as I roll it off the side, but I think if you take like some stock electronics from an SCX24, if you upgrade something to brushless, there's also the AM32 systems, there's also the Ldrc stuff. If you put in a nice small receiver from Dumbo RC or something like that, you can cram it all in there. I think you could actually do something with this. Maybe, I'm not even convinced these tires are all that bad. But yeah, even if you had like stock SCX tires, SCX24 tires, or from another thing, if you just want to do this thing on a budget, I think it would work out all right. Let's get this thing going. It's just a little too quick. Going to try and do some scale crawling with this thing, I think it's going to struggle a little bit without some nice improvements, and of course the shocks and everything else will do very well for it. We'll just take it out in the backyard and just drive it around on the grass, and you can see what it can do speed-wise. So there it goes. It's a little bit quicker than a walking pace, so it would be good for a trail. As I got matted down here as the pool's been taken down for the summer, so she goes pretty good. Let's just put this one as a huge thumbs in the sideways here. Maybe a little bit even down. This thing is would be fun to take out on the trails. Crawling, not cutting it. Let's just get that out of the way. The servo being 3-wire, you can get a different ESC in here, and that might make all the difference. Get a receiver in here on a radio, and I maybe change the pinion on the motor for more crawling, so it creeps along and you get the more torque. And I think you're on to something here, and actually all in all that could be done pretty cheap. I really like the body, and shocks are cheap. You could probably score shocks for 12 bucks or something. If you're looking for a project and looking for some fun, and a cheap way to get in. Maybe some of you guys got these parts already lying around, and you can make something fun and something you can hand to a kid, or something if you want the challenge to make. So let's bring this one in for a final thought. 99 Wayne Gretzky is known as the great one. This 99 Ldrc will be known as the 99 not so great one. It's a bit of a project, fun trail truck, crawler, let's pretend it's not going to do it, but there's still lots of fun to be had. And the tinkers with their models and got parts lying around, stock parts, or want to throw in 40 bucks could make this thing pretty cool. So thanks for watching Mark's RC Corner. Not everyone's a home run, but you know what? This is pretty cool for the price, and where else are you going to get a bobblehead driver? All right, on that note, we'll leave it at that. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon on the next one.